I end up getting like locked up into something today, um, thanks for taking some time to bullshit with me, dude. I miss you.
Oh, completely, dude. Honestly. Oh, dude. Yeah. No, that's not even a thank you moment. That's like, of course, just hanging out.
It sucks not running together. It basically just means we don't talk that much, but just know that like there's always love on my side, and there will probably be a point like once every week or so where it's like, dude, okay, I need my fix.
I do need. I do want to work on some DPS stuff too once I get this down. And I think I want to do Evoker, so I would be all about like running with you on that.
I would love that. I would be happy to take the advice you had on tanking as well. Well, I mean, I might listen to it. I won't actually do it, right?
you know, it's
I'm too stupid to do what you're saying to do. So I'll put up an argument as to why I think you're wrong, and then keep on doing it stupidly. And maybe like 2 weeks before the patch ends, I'll try out what you're talking about and say how impactful it was.
hold on. Keep talking.
Man, I've got such a big penis. So big. My penis
All
big.
right, hold on. Not in
Like
that.
where that.
I do want to record this for other stuff, so don't be.
Not talk about that. Um, I like cheesecake, key lime cheesecake with like if you use ginger snap crisp cookies along with graham cracker crust, like but you put the ginger snap cookies in the crust. Oh my god, it makes such a world of difference in the palate, dude.
How do I make Discord? How do I make it pick up?
In OBS,
Yeah.
you have to add it to your sources.
No, it's definitely there, but like, how do I make it pick up more?
I think you just have to add the source in, whatever source you're
I
wanting it to
did,
pick up from.
I did add it, but like, you're super quiet on the stream.
Um, so you can add an audio filter. There's like a noise suppression and an upward compressor. I don't even know what the fuck that is, but invert polarity. Huh. Yeah, I would guess right click and go to properties or filters maybe. That's the best guess I would have. I can never hear myself on OBS. I can hear everybody else just fine.
Yeah, it's the opposite for me now, and it has been the opposite before that though.
Who's the lady that we talked to for
Mariella, Mariella. Well,
yeah, that's who I would reach out to with the question. She'll have the answer.
all right. I'm going to make this call.
All right.
Okay.
Yo,
Hey, good after more. No, good evening. Yeah.
good evening. Or good morning to you.
Yeah.
How are you doing, Ethan?
I'm doing well, man. I this week has been a lot of learning.
Yeah.
Yeah, about I okay, so you had me work on like with just key stuff, right? Like not having gaps and yada yada yada, right? Like don't getting
Yeah.
not always being mitigated in some kind of way, right? And like I'm doing that, and then this week comes in, and now is like giving me trust issues because that's not enough, and they're like, well, and then something's like, well, you got a kite. There's like 4 stacks of bolstering, you know,
Yeah.
5 stacks, and I'm like, Yeah, okay. I gotta practice that more, and yeah, and like,
Yeah, it's easy to get overwhelmed when you're trying to learn, especially with the hard ethics as well.
yeah, it was fine towards the end. Like, almost like we didn't, but like almost two chested to 20, like just fine. Like just it felt fine and very clean. I just needed to know when to kite and do all that. Um,
Yeah.
but it was just a learning thing, So, and also like a notes from last week, we went over raid stuff.
Yeah.
I am now. So we got the heroic kill, got 32 on that, or no, the mythic kill, and we're gonna do step into mythic tonight again. But I upped up a lot of my stuff, like on heroic now, like mostly 70s and 80s, and 89 in there as well. And then on normal, it's all above 90.
That's nice.
Yeah, so that was like really good feedback. I like that was like nice to see the result. Like okay, hey,
Yeah.
something actually. And then I found out there's a lot of people in the guild that were like dissecting my logs to figure out what was going on. Like and not they didn't say anything about it to me, but then when I came back and they did that, they admitted it.
Yeah.
And so that
That's good though.
that was a very real thing.
Yeah.
Um,
It's nice to see that that you're doing improvements and stuff. It's always like a good confirmation to yourself, right? That it's going better.
yeah, yeah, that I'm at least heading in a positive direction.
Yeah, exactly.
Um, I did I did get like really hooked up with gear. I don't have tier yet, but
Yep.
I did farm and I got the talisman of the crag shaper, the Neltharion lair tank trinket, the 1 minute
Mhm.
50 DR.
Yeah.
Uh,
Very good trinket.
yeah, and then I got the heroic beacon, and
Nice.
yeah, so like now I feel like I'm set. Like those are what I run in keys always, right?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Yeah. Um,
I mean, you got better trinkets than me, huh?
yeah, I know. It's like I just made a. I probably was a little louder with like like we got the beacon to drop and they said I was like well the beacon's going to be doing the damage, right? Like it comes from the trinket, so like it if it's coming from the trinket and healers don't want DPS trinkets, but tanks want DPS trinkets for raid, then then it I would think it would probably benefit the raid more if it went to somebody who wasn't contributing as much damage, like a tank, right? And and then
Yeah.
and then I mentioned like, well, I didn't mention this, but the other tank was like, who was a warrior. They're like, I think it should go to the paladin because they are gonna benefit from the mastery better than I am.
Yeah, yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Really true.
And anyway, everybody agreed, and um,
That's nice for you. I'm the last guy in my guild to get the beacon.
you're the last guy. You said
Yeah.
you are the last, or you will be. Like, did you get it?
I will. No, I didn't get it yet. I will
Oh.
be the last.
Oh, okay. Well, we are recruiting. We are currently 1 out of 9 missing.
Yeah.
uh, well, so my stats right now for M plus, and this is one of the things I wanted to talk to you about. I think I'm I'm actually thinking I'm doing really well. I don't have any tiers, so all of this is at least 4 pieces of my gear are gonna change, right? Um,
Yeah.
but I'm at 437 item level and 18% crit, 39 haste, 32 mastery, and 8 verse. What
Yeah.
what is stands out to you with that? Like or what do you recommend I should shoot for?
It's hard to say with stats, right? Because oh, sorry, my dog.
It's okay.
Because it's so hard to know what kind of stats you will have, like later on.
True.
Because no one is
Yeah.
So it's kind of impossible to say like what is the ideal stat that you want to aim for. But I would bet my guess is that you're gonna have like around 8 to 10% burst. You're gonna have like 35 or 36% mastery, like 30 haste, and crit is like doesn't matter too much.
Crit looked like it gains it gains value with the 4 set. Is that is it like enough to
Yeah,
mean anything? So
not really. For raiding, yes, crit is really good. But for M plus, like you're not gonna go crit to get some more DPS out because you will die then if you're gonna go crit.
okay.
So, but it does benefit from the 4 set because whenever you judgment crits, supply a Hearthfire and also have a chance to trigger Grand Crusader. That's why crit is benefiting from the 4 set.
Okay, and my playstyle doesn't change at all when I get tier, right?
It might change slightly
Okay.
because you might do more judgments,
Okay.
more resets on judgments and stuff. So you might, in some cases, especially when you have bloodlust, like gain a lot more haste on full. Like sometimes, if I'm lucky, I'm spamming judgment like 5 or 6 times in a row because it gets reset. Uh, so, but it's just more damage now, and it's mainly only in your opener. Like if you get a reset on judgment, like mid fight, then you just press it. So it's not gonna affect your gameplay by a lot. It's just like a minor thing.
Okay. That makes sense. Um,
Yeah.
I think I have some replays as well. I didn't. Yeah, I don't. I don't know if you had a plan for today or not, but or if there. Yeah, what was your? There's like something you thought I should work on, or
It depends on your progress in the raid. If you feel like you're set in the raid, that you're satisfied with it. If you are, then we could talk about M plus and how to set up some pulls, what to watch out for, and stuff like that.
okay. I am. So raid progression. I was watching. I was watching your replays on some of these bosses. Um, I got when we went into Mythic, we got the kill on the first boss, and then on we did Shadow and Flame. I don't know what to correctly call that boss, but um,
Yeah.
we did the 2 elementals, and I was getting clapped on some of the switches, and it looked. Well, I think we figured it out where I had. I'm using the mouse over taunt now, right? And so the warrior was bringing it to me, um, and I was had my mouse over it, and I was just like getting ready. The moment it was in range, I was taunting it, and so I taunted it way before him, and we didn't communicate. All right, taunting 3, 2.
Mhm.
We didn't have any communication like that. So he's what we're gonna go into today is trying to make sure we're taunting at the same time because there was like a moment where like okay now I'm taking 2 hits from because I taunted mine way sooner than he taunted his.
Yeah. Are you talking about experiments?
Not experiment.
The
Um,
Shambler.
the switching the shadow flame the where we tank on either side.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Okay. Yeah.
and yeah, amalgamation chamber. Um, yeah, so I was just getting clapped on that, and then what I saw how you were doing it. So you guys had a very clean switch, and you also did kite for a few seconds to make sure you were good. Like you ran away from it, and so that's the pickup. What I got from that was like just to make sure I run away, or like not run away, but make sure guarantee that I'm not gonna die. I'm not gonna be a victim to if his taunt is late or not. You know.
Yeah. Yeah. Just like just be careful and also run away. I did it because they can't be close to each other. That's like 40 yards. It's really really long range
Yeah.
as well.
Okay, and then also on the shadow one, the like the where you got to run out. I noticed you didn't really run out. Is that do you feel comfortable like staying close?
You mean to the pull in or
Yeah, the pull in.
okay? I mean, I don't know. I just felt like I was immortal, so I just didn't bother too much.
And it didn't really do anything to you. So like
Yeah.
I was probably gonna just at least entertain that, you know, like I did. I think I wiped the group once where when I ran out of that, but I ran in the middle, and then the
Yeah.
taunt swamps right after that. So it was
Yeah.
it was just unclean.
Yeah. Some mechanics you can just avoid straight away. You just gotta get like a good feeling for it, like for what mechanics and stuff.
Yeah.
And
So
also
yeah,
how healthy you are in that moment. Maybe you're not as healthy as I am.
yeah. That's also true because when like the like I don't know what to call them, the like tornadoes or the puddles that like come in where you know like and you have to move out of it. Um, that one I noticed you were nearly topped off and didn't even need to like you didn't for me I noticed I had to like do something to like make sure that I was above 50%.
Yeah. Do you have a paladin healer in the group?
No.
Okay, that's probably why because we have beacons and other tanks.
Ah, okay.
The beacon is hitting a lot on us.
Okay. Um also there's what is it? Trinkets. I would imagine I'm going to be running beacon. I also have a 441 heroic anchor or the
Okay,
grapple.
that's a pretty good one.
Yeah. Do you recommend I run those too?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
If you feel like you need to run a defensive trinket from Barren Lair, I would swap the anchor instead.
Yeah. Okay.
But like this tier, you don't really need it. Um, it's questionable on Scarred once you get there.
Yeah.
That's
Okay.
another factor.
Um, and then we're gonna go to assault. So I don't really know much about what I'm gonna be doing there yet.
Yeah. Assault is really easy.
That's what I hear.
Yeah. Nothing hurts, nothing can kill you, and nothing can kill your raid, basically. Uh, so you're just gonna do this exact same thing on heroic, basically.
Okay.
No difference. And that's about it. You know, you split up to one side, you just get aggro on the mobs, and they don't do anything. It's the exact same thing on heroic as mythic.
Okay. So as long as I do that, I mean, the big thing is kind of at the end is for like making sure we get a mortal strikeout or something, right?
Yeah. I mean, you don't even need that if you don't have it, but if you have it, then of course, yeah.
Yeah.
Uh, but the important thing in the later phase, in P2, last phase, is that when the boss is like charging the door, he's doing like fractals before that and after that, that you have to fade away from it.
Yeah.
Uh, because it's mythic, the boss will live for a longer time than on heroic. So you will get like 3 or 4 frontals, but you need to like aim away.
Okay.
That is the
Okay, that makes sense. Okay, so let's see. I think I have, let me make sure if this is the kill. Uh-oh. Oh no, I accidentally deleted it. That's annoying. Um, it's okay though. Let me see if I have a good replay of this. I'm just gonna share my screen. Can you see this? Okay. So again, this is, so I think okay, that one I was fine in. We also only had a couple pulls at the night. We didn't think we were gonna get the kill. So that one I could have probably been like just slightly out, right? Like, yeah, probably just like, and I should have headed this way. Yeah.
Either way, like not towards the other side. That's the only.
Yeah. Okay. And probably out to here is good enough, right?
Yeah, that's also fine. Because
Oh,
if you're standing right next to him, he won't move as well.
yeah.
So whatever happens, he cannot move more towards the other side. And you know, you're gonna switch on the meteor, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and you had a weak order for it that says meteor in 3, 2, 1. You could duplicate the weak order and just change the text to swap after this meteor tank swap, and then send it to your other co-tank so he is aware of when to swap on and stuff.
Oh, that's good. I like that.
Yeah, because you mentioned that he wasn't always aware when to swap and stuff.
Yeah, it's just for us to get synced up. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Oh, everyone's dead. Um, that's funny. There's probably all these other mechanics that are happening that I'm like, just like, I gotta press taunt correctly.
But you said that you killed this boss, right?
No, we didn't.
Oh, okay.
Ooh.
I have a really good weak order for next phase. Next phase is gonna be a quick taunt. You know when
Oh.
the spell is casting, you need to taunt the actual boss.
Uh, yeah, it's, um, I know it's, you taunt after it goes off, and then the other person, one person takes a hit, then the other person takes the frontal, right? Or the,
Yeah, yeah.
sorry, this is,
So I'm gonna do.
Withering Vulnerability is the first hit.
Okay, so
Okay.
I sent you the weak order now.
Yep.
The whole package that I have for raid, because we are progressing Sargeras right now. We're almost killing it. So I've done weak orders for every single boss um, and stuff. So if you take that, you also get the weak order that says tank swap now on that boss as well when that fast cast is happening.
Okay, perfect.
And it should also, I mean, you have the rush rock weak order already. Um,
From the, yeah, what you sent me.
yeah. So you can probably delete the old one that I sent you and just take the whole package because it's also in there.
Is this thing that you're sending me a whole package?
Yeah.
Okay, great.
And it's just like tank stuff only.
don't know if I. Yeah, so I see the. Oh, you know what I just took? I just took the Rorschach taunt. Okay,
Ah, okay.
right? Didn't I? No, because yeah, you know the meteor incoming probably came from something else that I had, a generic
Yeah.
one. Okay, so I removed the taunt one that you.
Mhm.
Okay, okay, I'm actually gonna remove this. Delete.
It will also give you directions on Skarn as well. If you're using correct markers,
Okay.
like Method did or whatever, you will also get directions of where to go and stuff like exactly because Skarn is really a heavy movement and has to be correct on Mythic. It's really, really hard to tank on Skarn, so it's gonna help you a lot as well.
Okay. Great. And then.
Alright, that week, Ara, it says Unstable Embers, Skarn,
Okay.
Unstable Embers,
Yep.
that one. Uh, that's one that is not for tanks, but I made it for my guild. I can share it with your guild if you want, but it's a spread week, Ara, because in the very end there is a spread for the embers and stuff. Uh, so it's a spread week, Ara, that prioritizes which one goes where, like far left, left, far right, right.
Oh, great. Okay. And then like each, it'll tell when it says far left. Um, I'm having trouble like picturing that in my head. Like it'll tell. Do you have to like from what direction? Like just so there's like clarity on that. Like is it from the entrance?
You're gonna understand once you get there because the whole area of Skarn, we don't need to go that deep into Skarn right now.
Right. Right.
But just in general, like the whole area is gonna be filled with traps, and you're all gonna be cramped up against a wall, like a safe spot.
Yeah.
And then the boss will be in front of you. So when it's far left, the guys can run against the wall far left.
Gotcha. That makes sense.
And yeah, so it's really easy to know where to go, and you will understand once you look into Skarn and get there.
Okay. Um.
But yeah,
I accidentally got rid of a bunch of my recordings, unfortunately. Um, I was gonna like see if I had any like gems to bring up um, for this week. I mentioned and I thought it was we were all joking, and I said like over here, nerds, like when they all went ahead without me, and I was gonna go a different direction, and then I was like, you guys suck, and it was like joking. I knew like two of them, right?
yeah,
Like it was like we were all good vibes, whatever. And then the leader said nah and removed me from the group. I was like,
right?
yeah, I was like, what? um, yeah, and I was like, man, that was supposed to be like, I thought we were all having a good time, and that's weird to remove somebody, you know.
Yeah.
Anyway, that was that happened. Um, no, not this one. I don't. Yeah, I don't know if. Oh, oh yeah, this was random. This is just a heads up that this could happen. So I got one shot, right? And I looked. Bloodsworn Defiler, Bloodsworn Defiler, Grotesque Horror, Void Spit from Grotesque Horror. Like I was like, oh man, we snapped the mobs from Underrot. Those are the mobs. The grotesque horrors, the worm in Underrot, the worm ad, and the blood swarm defilers, like the ones next to it.
What the fuck, bro?
Yeah, I was like, what?
So weird.
Yeah. So that kind of sucked. Um. Oh, before I forget, I am struggling with now my rotation with this trinket because it's a 1 minute CD. I kind of use like Sentinel is always if that's up, I use that on like going into a pull, right? Like doesn't that?
1 minute trinket.
Oh no, Sentinel.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that's like always number one priority when that's up, right? And you're gonna get good.
Yeah.
You don't need it in like 20 seconds. You just send it now.
Yeah. Sentinel is always number one, no matter like what.
Yeah. Okay. Now I struggle with using the beacon correctly. I kind of been honestly using it when I do bubble. Just because you can't dodge or parry anything, right? When you're channeling.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or I'll do it like to pull a mob, like pack, like do this and then taunt something over here. Um.
I think I mean it's fine to use it during bubble, but it all depends how the gaps are looking like once you have like proper gear, right? Um,
Yeah.
usually for setup, it's good because you get the damage out. Uh, but like ideally, you don't want to use it during bubble because you need to like reset your wings more, you know, like get the CDR on the wings. Because you might miss like two globals and that's like 2 seconds on wings. That might be really crucial. But
Yeah.
let's say that your gap now between each sentinel is too much, so you need to kite.
Okay.
That would be the perfect spot to like use a trinket, like run away and use it out of range, for example.
Okay. Okay. I've also been doing that. There was some times where, let's see, when did I use it? This one? Oh, I just used it to pull the boss. The warrior was gonna spell reflect, so I'm like, okay, perfect. I'll use this trinket then.
Yeah.
um, and he thought he was gonna have big damage, and then I'm at. I did 1.2 million on one hit. Right.
They have to nerf it.
Yeah, later on. Let me enjoy it. Let me pretend I'm good with that. Cause
You're gonna nerf it the day I get my hands on it, I promise.
I'm. Oh yeah. So this is a lesson that I learned on this. I bopped him right there, and cause yeah, and I should have known better. This warrior is like he loves whatever whatever. If I'm gonna set up for a pull, like he is hard smacking the first thing he can, just rah wah wah. He's like that's him. Um, oh, hold on, ad popped up. Um, so I figured the lesson would be just get good aggro, like, cause I don't think I shielded the righteousness. Yeah, so I think I should have shielded through that, right?
Yeah.
Like Avenger and shield, and so I bopped him immediately. And let's see here. Another thing I was also learned in this was like, oh yeah, the green stuff on the ground. And so
Really hurts.
yeah, and I'm like, oh, this is probably really bad for him. Um,
I
so
mean,
yeah,
in this case,
yeah,
um, like if someone is really like habit triggered about things and he won't do anything about it because but he's doing it wrong first of all. But I've also had people just start DPS, um, and what I do is pop wings. I pull the free mobs like you did,
yeah,
grab pass,
Okay, yeah. Here was a good thing. I noticed the shaman was running the double cap, right? Which I don't know. I'm personally not a fan of. I think that just adds to stun DR too quickly. But I did notice it, so and I wanted to do this earlier, like the moment I saw it, but I just thought of it in that moment. But so I saw cap out, and I know the double was one, so I was like, "Ooh, opportunity, trinket," and it didn't even go off. But I was like, that was my thinking. I'm like, oh, they're stunned, trinket, and then yeah, it didn't even go off, and I was like, damn it. But that was like that's a good opportunity, right? Like,
Yeah, that was a really good trade. If they have like a long stun, you can use trinket as well. That's like a perfect opportunity actually.
um, oh, and on this first pull, right when we got into this area, I was thinking I've been pulling this blood swarmer now, so that way there's not two at the end when like I loop around. This just helped me make sure I only had one blood swarmer.
Yeah, you always wanna have one bloodformer in every pack this year. That's like the base rule.
Yeah.
Like one bloodformer, like one of each mobs is my head.
Yeah.
Sometimes double lashers, sometimes double slimes, but never ever double maggot or bloodformer. Never ever.
Yeah. I did pull double maggot, and I'm thinking like, okay, it's just like we'll stun one, and then you just dodge the next, and then like I did that 2 keys in a row because I was with him. He was farming the trinket, the file, um, and so I was like, okay, I was like, yeah, I'll never do it again because now like both times the like we lost 2 to 3 people just to the maggot, and I'm like, okay, never mind, I was wrong about that. Um, oh, big question on this. Again, like I always give people like the advice to reread tooltips if you're learning a class. Like even like a year later, you'll realize that you overlooked something in the beginning. Um, Ardent Defender. I was just using that just for the DR, but like if
Oh, you didn't know that.
yeah. So when Ardent Defender, like I should not use another defensive until that procs, right? Right? If it's like very heavy, I should wait for that to proc, right?
Both yes and no.
Okay.
Let me just close my door 1 second.
Hmm.
Okay, so both yes and no. Um, Obviously, you're gonna die while you have it procced. But also, if you proc it, you get to it's 10, no, it's
20,
20% HP.
20, yeah.
Yeah,
Which is
which is
scary.
yeah, it's really really scary. Uh, so you don't wanna just let it proc if you're in like in a big pool. Um, so it's really case by case. So if you're in a big trash pool, uh, you might wanna combine it with like Eye of Tyr. I like to combine those two
I always,
items as well.
yeah, I always combine those two. That's what I've been
Yeah,
doing. Yep.
but let's say you are, let's say, what's a good boss? Let me check and see to make it good. Yeah, let's say you're Foreign Slayer, right?
Okay.
Let's say the last boss. You know the landslide, for example. Uh, if you are like 40% HP on the landslide, you know that okay, well it's gonna be one big hit only. You won't do a big hit after it, and I will most likely die. Then you can use Ardent Defender alone. You don't need to combine it with IVT because that's a waste.
Right.
So in that case, use Ardent Defender, proc it, and then heal up after, for example. But if it's a big trash pool, like get like a good feeling for it, like when to let it proc and when to not to. And it's basically only on bosses or like in academy, you know, the guy in the tower who does the slash.
Yeah.
That's also a good way. It's like, okay, you're playing one mob, he does one big hit and then nothing. So that's a good ardent defender alone.
Okay. Yep. Okay. I'm sure I'll recognize those.
Yeah.
Um. Let's see. Okay. This I've been getting kind of okay at, but kind of sloppy at. Um. Oh yeah. But this week I was just pulling around till we had less back up. And I wasn't really in comms for anybody to grab it. Um. Oh yeah. See, these two are proc. I use those pretty often hand in hand. I have to. It's yeah. I really like it for when like losing threat smash I have tier. It's there.
Yeah. It's a good. I don't know. The IF series is broken.
Yeah.
The big DR and it does damage as well. It's like it's all in one basically.
And it's 45 seconds. I'm like,
Yeah.
yeah. I was like, I'm gonna stay a little quiet about that, you know. Like, so a minute. So we had this. I think I made a mistake. No, not this one. But um, it's crazy how much interrupts you can have. I didn't realize that they do cast both at later on. So if I had Divine Toll, wait for the double cast. Or like their first cast will be in sync. So we had lust up. So I went back. Um, this boss, it gets sloppy after the tantrum.
Yeah, it does.
I found out these bones right here, which is like easy. I just found this out just the other day that like when the range stand on there, it's like the boxes like he'll face the charge and then he just doesn't charge and none of the stuff comes out. Um,
Oh really?
yeah, these and it was like our healer was like trying it. He was like, because we saw these other two do it, and then and they did it for free, and they're like, oh no, you're fine, just tank do your thing, let us do our thing, They did it, and then she tried it, got up there, and it was like, oh, that was so easy, and then sure enough, it worked.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I was explaining that, and I put the marker in. Okay, but here I get. Oh, definitely can't leave today without going over. Oh yeah, because this one Why did I bubble instead? I think I just wanted to. Um,
Yeah, because you can outrange that.
yeah, and normally I do outrun like I run up here.
Yeah.
I don't know if I thought I was too close. I don't know what the reason was, but I wanted to play a little, which I think was a mistake, because
I mean, it's a mistake, but also you're playing it safe. You don't need to bubble next pull anyways.
no,
You can get it back.
but if these ticks go wrong,
Oh,
yeah, yeah, which and then like I had to dodge a charge, so I'm like, okay, cool, got this. I'm always trying to feed him the range, because I have the unbound. Oh, and so that one, it caught me off guard. I noticed I didn't have a horse charge, so I just spell warded myself. And then I'm like, okay, I need to get to a wall. I need to get to a wall.
yeah.
But this is where like I feel it gets sloppy, and then I'm like, tantrums coming out, so I usually try to like run back to the middle.
Yeah. I mean, this boss, I mean, fair enough, it's hard to do if you're not a full five-man stack group and
Yeah.
have a proper plan for it. Because, first of all, you need to soak everything quickly. Everyone is like spread out in different directions. And then they need to bait the charge backwards to where you regularly 5 people get back to the original position.
Yeah.
It's gonna happen.
Yeah.
So what needs to happen is that you soak everything, and people are running towards the place, and you have the boss furthest out. So no matter what, he charge towards where you're going to, basically. Because there's no way you're gonna make all the soaks happen, and everyone is gonna make it back in time. It's too short amount of time. And you need to have like a really high mobile group, like Stampeding Roar together with like a Rogue and Sprint and DH or Fell Rush. And then the healer, I don't know, needs to be Shaman or Restorus, can like also sprint. It's not gonna happen, I think. So
Yeah.
it is what it is, kinda impacts, I'd say.
Yeah. Yeah. If you,
Coordinated.
yeah, as long as you don't get ticks off, you know, even if it charges everywhere. That's what I've kind of been like. As long as I don't get ticks off, I can. Um,
Yeah.
I think we'll be fine. This one. So I've been kind of like what I've been doing is, yeah. So the shocks, but when dispel's up and shockwave's not about to come out, I usually been trying to get like 2 or 3, and then I'll dispel myself, and then wait for
Yeah.
that one. I bubbled, and I was talking about this in comms after because I was with the warrior. That like I should have waited for bubble for when they go out to here, and then I'll clear the rest that's out. I was thinking wasn't sure what to do with that.
Bubble is nice and all to have like as a last resort, like soak everything. Because you can always almost soak everything with the shockwave and the upheavals.
Yeah. Okay.
And sometimes you miss like one or two when you can use the spell it. But if someone fucks up or if you don't see the frontal coming, you can use bubble and soak instead. It's good to save it as a backup in case something goes wrong. Because it should be enough with use the spells and stuff.
Oh, here's a good question for you. Do you know how to make it? Actually, I didn't even really look into it. I just knew I needed to fix it later. Um, my unit frames, my focus target, I would love for that because I have debuffs on my focus target for raid, right? And I put it over here. But then, like when I go into a key, it's like not needed. So I just put my interrupt to cover over it, and it didn't bother me. But like, so I didn't see that info. But like, I was like, oh man, I gotta change this. Or do you like just you set up it for raid, and then you when you're done, you go back to what you do for keys? What do you? How do you?
Yeah, I have a blacklist. I do filters in my LVI. So I blacklist like most debuffs that the group does. So I don't see it in my focus frame. And I
Oh,
put a filter so I see in my co-tanks debuffs, for example. It's a bit of a hassle and stuff.
okay.
Uh,
But if I wanted to
need to go into individual units.
individual, yeah. Sorry, focus.
Right.
Yeah.
Then go down to debuffs, and then all the way down. You can see like filters down here.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's the filters that you have active. Above it, you can add special filter or regular filter. Uh, but you need to know what filter does what, kinda. And you can see all your filters on the left side, like all the way on the left on LVI, like all the tabs on the left. Exactly filters. Then you can select a filter to see what filters you have. Yeah, it's probably a complete new area for you. So be really careful of what you add and to what you add it to.
Okay. Oh,
Uh,
yeah, I can mess around with that.
yeah, what I recommend doing to not mess anything up, because if you mess things up in the blacklist or whitelist or whatever, or raid buffs, play buffs, it's gonna be a pain to get back. So do new
Okay, and then I'll probably export my profile currently before I mess into this.
Filters comes along with it. Maybe they do. I'm not sure.
Okay, well, I'll do that anyway, just because I know whatever I export and say that that's how I like. Okay,
Yeah. So
but
don't
filters,
touch old ones. Just create new filters and
create
play
new.
around with it.
Okay, easy. And then I can delete it if it's bad or edit the bad one.
Yeah, exactly. So you can do whatever the fuck you want. And just okay, I messed up. Delete that filter. Make a new one again.
Gotcha. One thing I haven't done is the. This is still, I think, I don't think I have my focus keybind yet for my Avenger Shield, or I have it on focus. No, no, I got rid of the focus one and I have it on this. So okay, I need to write that down to make, because I definitely have the keybind for it for a regular one, and then just press shift and do my focus one. Um, and I started doing that more. Um, shift macros for focus abilities. Um, I started doing that more with like, I did it with kick. Um, it's actually really nice to be able to do both. Um,
Yeah.
my Avenger Shield and another one, because sometimes an issue, like I'm running into an issue where like, let's say I'm taking this pack right here, right, and then the caster that I want, or like is going over off over here. There's like another mob that's like close to over here that I'm like, oh man, if I Avenger Shield that, that is for sure going to pull that whole group.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, so I'll do that. Like I'll realize like, okay, I can't range kick, or I can't go that one. So usually I'll like, this is what I don't know. There's probably a better way to do it, but like I've been like kind of going like this until it's in range and then kicking it.
Yeah. I mean, it's better to play it safe.
Yeah, because my issue is I also turn my back a lot, I think. Um,
Mm.
on these pulls, like, okay, this is in the beginning of the week, so it's ended up becoming a lot sloppier. But I'm having an issue with. I want to. I know there's a Geomancer in the second pack that I'm pulling for this, so I want to Avenger Shield that one. Like, is it? I just, and I have Shock and Disclosure running like the pre-pot.
Mhm.
I feel like I should just like mention like don't blow up the first set of mobs, or maybe it's just a blessed hammer, or do I make sure I go in with 3 charges? Like,
I think it's fine what you're doing.
okay,
Because the hammer might not hit all of them, so it's a bit RNG because you're running, its game ticks, and it's not like consistent. Um, the best hammer. So the Avenger Shield is definitely the play, and then you just run
okay,
in here. You're gonna be the first guy running in anyways because you have a horse and stuff.
yeah.
Then you just run in, Avenger Shield, run past them, pop Sentinel, pull the other 2 packs on the left and right there, and then you just divine pull everything. It's done.
Which I'm learning. So then I did go into this pack, and it's like and I'm like, this one's scarier to me than the first one. I was like, these chomps, which I was before the call here, we were dissecting it, like looking at it. It looks like that's like I could use that as like just backstep it just a little bit.
Yeah. I'm not sure yet. There's a lot more to like test and see what you can do and what you cannot do. Um, but most mechanics you can. Um,
Yeah, like here I didn't even get hit.
yeah. But you saw like the setup here was not like ideal.
Mm,
Um,
yeah, let's go
you
at
losing aggro on the two at least, and then the other two comes in with 0 threat on, and yeah, it's one guy.
Yeah, I did that. I was thinking because I had IO tier.
Mm-hmm.
Is that?
If you look at the paladin, for example,
Yeah.
the red paladin, if he took 2 more steps to the right, and it did his swing, like right here, after, if he steps on and wants to hit behind
Yeah.
alligator or basilisk, and then
He.
he does his swing, he's gonna attack them before you, and the insta cast, if you play now, the insta cast is chomp and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're gonna cast immediately. Yeah,
Yeah.
you're casting now, boom boom.
Yeah. That would have been bad.
Yeah, and a DPS player usually stand behind the mobs to attack them, and not in front like he did. So the correct play here would be pull the first 2 mobs, run into the basilisk, and stand there, basically.
Okay.
So you run in all the way.
Yep. And plant myself like right here.
Yeah.
Okay. Easy. Um. So, but I think so on the 21, I didn't pull. I did this pull just because I was unsure, and then it felt super free, and then we did it back on a 20, and so I added one more to it, the 2 Geomancers, and then that was super free, and then like these chomp guys just messed me up. Like I was so then I watched just late last night when I was before going to bed. I was watched how some other people were doing it,
Mm-hmm.
and they pull these basilisks into with lust, and it looked just as free as the first pull did for me. So I think I'm gonna do that, like for a safety thing, just just cause yeah.
Sometimes it's easier to pull bigger and pop defensives and live it, than it is to like play smaller packs, because you still need to use defensives. The question is, are you gonna pull more mobs in when you actually have things to use, or are you gonna play it after when you don't have anything? So sometimes it's easy to pull bigger, just because that reason, because you have things to use. If that makes sense.
Yeah, it does. So this was just a decent. This was like a whatever pull, right? Like it was okay, but like
Mm-hmm.
I had um. So I had Sentinel running, and I'm still like getting clapped too. So instead of using I or like another defensive, I thought I was okay to start kiting.
Yeah, so if you go back a bit,
Yep.
this is a common scenario that happens. So if you pause here,
Oh, pause. Yeah.
yeah. So you have your guardians up, and your shield of the righteous is about to end. It's a blue bar, right?
No, that's my Dawn. My Shield of Righteousness ended.
Oh, okay. Go back a bit more and see what's happening.
Yeah, it's the purple.
Yeah, it's purple. Okay. So you have kings up and pause here, right? And so you need to use those 3 holy powers that you have right now
Yeah.
to shield of the righteous.
I think I do. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. And you press sentinel, but you're already getting clapped. You're like already behind.
Yeah.
Dog is going nuts today.
That's okay.
Uh, but you're falling behind because you were behind already, right? So you have some catch up to do. Like if you were full HP now, you would not die.
Yeah.
You'd be close to die. Um, so you need to do some catch up, and the only thing to do is to do pro like judgments and stuff, so you get more holy powers. So you can do
Right.
Instead, I think press blessed hammer. It looks like.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, you press blessed hammer instead of judgment. So in this scenario, it's
Well-
really important that you are aware that when you got sentinel back, it will be strong, but you have some catch up to do, and you need to get holy powers quick as fuck.
Okay.
You can heal yourself, and that's the only way is to spam judgment. Or if you don't have judgment, that's when you need to use blessed hammer, because that's the second ability that gives you holy power, or I mean hammer threat as well, of course.
Yep.
Um,
Yes. I think that's also gonna be. This is the muscle memory. I'm getting. There's moments where like I'm doing it where I'm like hiding away and then I'm still pressing all my ability. You know, like, and I'm like, okay, good. That was good practice of that. And like it stood out to me because it's not fully natural yet.
yeah.
Okay, but that's when I'm in that situation is like my thought process is just holy power, right?
Yeah, because you have very limited globals to do to not die here. If you pause when you press Sentinel, like now, so you have very limited globals to do
Yep.
to catch up, and one, usually the Ritus is up for 3.5 seconds. You need to do 3 globals to live. Double Judgment into Heaven of Wrath, that gives you 5 holy powers. And that's kind of what you need. Actually, you need to do 3 globals, not 4 globals. Damn, it's getting late. 4 globals, right? Double judgment into another shield of the righteous insta, so you get another reset. And then you need to do hammer of wrath into blessed hammer, or if you have judgment back, with forceps later on, to get a wooden floor off as well immediately.
Okay.
Then you would not die here, for example. And you can just stand there and face time. I mean, it's you will, but once you like are aware of this now, when you try keys next time, and you realize that you get sentence mid pull, and you're like about to die, try and think about to catch up. You know, like spam judgment and get mitigation, and then heal, and you will see like what I mean, kinda.
Yeah. No, I understand. Yeah, that does make sense. Like I do having the shining light is like kind of the goal. That's like my security blanket.
Yeah.
It feels like just having these procs. I do get. Okay, I need to remove the move thing on this because this I didn't realize like until I was in keys of like how often there's like 800 of those just on that pole. Just keep moving.
Yeah.
This boss I kind of just tank on. I make sure to silence the Geomancer. Tank tank on that. I'm not too worried. I do try and get aggro as quick as I can, but it's not like game breaking. I feel like if I don't
Yeah, it's not like the most important thing, I'd say.
yeah. Oh, this is a good moment. I'm casting my right when the soda casting my thing. Boo. um. Okay. Fast forward. This was sloppy as fuck. I did. Okay, I knew I needed. Okay, I was like, okay, I know I could pull this whole room, and this is my first time attempting that, and I was like, I didn't even like try to gain threat on these. Like that was bad, and I told these guys so. And the fact I was low, I okay.
Yeah,
Bec-
panic, press all buttons.
yeah, like I was like, okay, I'm gonna sentinel in this, and then I dipped lower than I needed to. So I just didn't want to die, and I was like, I was thinking, okay, I am going to be kiting these guys in a second. I think bubble is safe to do, and then I didn't even kite. I realized later on that like that all I had to do was like just backpedal, and that was more than good enough, and it looked super clean doing that.
Yeah.
Um,
I mean, this mostly is
Yeah.
Like this is like a moment where it needs to be really using defensive well, and also the ability to like kite the mobs well.
Yeah. And so I was trying to go back to Tar Trap, and this I did know about the my at the time. This was like right before I was like, oh, perfect time for Ardent Defender. They're bolstered. This one has 8 stacks. He hasn't been stunned yet. You don't like to reset it. So I'm like, Ardent Defender. I'm gonna go through once. Like that was like,
Yeah,
yeah,
that's a really good button to use if you want to go through the mob once and not die.
yeah.
Completely agree.
And then now I'm like, okay, I'm like stud help.
Yeah.
And I really felt like the panic mode come in, and then later on in the week, so like last night I did it, and I just backpedaled it, and I kind of backpedaled it towards the boss, and they died by the time I got to the boss, and it was just super clean.
Yeah, it's good. That's kind of what I do as well. Just pull them all and then backpedal to boss most likely. That's fine.
Yeah, then I'm just gonna show this one. Um, this one we talked about this afterwards that we wanted to do like when we would drop the puddles, we would all shift down as a group over there because the paladin was saying I cut him off
Mhm.
with it just by not having a plan. So like, let's see. I don't remember exactly where it was, but well now I'm like 2 health, and so I'm like trying to have an answer. But like he was like, now I'm in a crowded area. It's just not good at all.
Yeah. In a pull like this, uh, it's really easy for the pull to get chaotic, and it's your job to make it not chaotic by having like a good proper movement. Going in a circle, like around the room, slowly is always the case.
Okay, okay. I could easily picture that.
Yeah, so like running back and forth and having paddles right and left is not the answer. Just like, drop a paddle, you go next position, like next to it, and it's fine.
Right. Okay, that makes sense. This one, the only note I noticed was I should, if I'm going to tank it either at the entrance or the exit, because that's the biggest gap between the two golems, I should probably tank on the exit so we don't have to run. Um, this one, I just told them that these guys are like enforcers in Court of Stars, so you can line of sight the thunderclaps if needed.
Yeah.
I pulled back over to the edge to make sure. This one, I have tier, or no, Blessing of Tier. I made sure to pull back where we came from. That was my only thinking.
Yeah.
Um, and then, yeah. Um, this next one tanked in the middle right here so they could LOS these two.
Good.
And then this one I was like kind of stoked about. Like I had a plan, and like my plan was that I'm doing everything except for Bubble in here. Like I needed to, cause he's probably gonna get super bolstered. This guy, the Guardian, and I need to be able to take that hit, um, on
Yeah.
fortified. So that was like my plan to, yeah. So
Yeah.
like,
I pulled them separately.
alright,
I think that in a proper route, um, you're gonna have like a different route, where you skip this pack.
mm,
I think that's gonna be the case. You're gonna skip bolstering in a proper route.
okay. Um, This one, I think our question was we weren't we didn't care to two chest, and we knew we were gonna time it, so I didn't pull that agent down there. I decided to do it in the next one. And the the paladin here, the ret paladin, he's very experienced, like, or more so than us, like most of us. Um, and so he's doing a lot of the shot calling, and he was saying like, yeah, you could even, especially with two priests in here, we could like, worst case scenario, pull the whole room on accident, and it would be fine. And or he would say like, you could even pull the whole room and we would be fine. He was like, but then I did this. He's like, I didn't mean to do it. I didn't mean that as your first option.
Yeah, I think even though you have double priest, you have cooldown and stuff.
Yeah, and then I wasn't tanking on the side either. Like, we ended up being fine, but it was 17, right?
Yeah, you wanna pull 2 and 2, that's for sure on these ones.
Okay, yep.
Because you don't wanna have three of them, it's too much.
Okay. Okay. Well, I'm not gonna keep you up any later. I do appreciate which, by the way, that trinket, the Annex Honorable Resonator is horrible. I don't know, like,
Not great.
I tried it out and it was horrible. Like, I'm like, man, there's no value from that.
You definitely have better trinkets on you.
Okay. Okay, I felt like this, and it's probably gonna feel like this more so for future like runs too. Like the more we meet up on this, um, I felt like I didn't have too much to like a real plan to go in and talk about on this. I think next time I'll have, um, well, if there's like something that you're like, hey, I think you like this is like, all right, today's lesson, is this, or
Yeah.
um,
But having in mind, actually, that for the next time, you're gonna have like more votes of things,
okay,
especially on Twitch as well, because then I can share my screen and skim through things and show you as well. Because it's more effective as well. Because then I don't need to tell you to like go back and pause and then oh no 5 more seconds. It gives you more time as well. If I can look through it and share my screen and for like next time and further ahead, I think having a lot of different mods and keys that you've done is gonna be like the goal to go through and talk about, and then have like the first 10 minutes maybe talk about the upcoming raid boss that you're gonna do, um, like talk some about it for like just 10 minutes how to do it on Mythic, and then the rest like 50 minutes whatever we just go through the votes and go more in depth about the keys and how to play properly in some scenarios and stuff.
perfect.
To have more like of a plan. And it's also easier to see when you have more like different votes and stuff.
Do you?
Acknowledge those issues.
Okay, the only way I know how to record to Twitch, like, is, yeah, just click the record, stop recording, but it also goes to my hard drive. Is that the,
No, you can save it on Twitch website because it's mod. So you don't need to record and save it on your hard drive.
okay, Twitch to mod. Is that under dash?
Yeah, if you go to your dashboard, it should be. If you go into settings, your dashboard,
Yeah.
and then it should be the first option. I have it in Swedish, I don't know exactly how
Stream.
it is, but stream, yeah. Then you see not the first tab,
Yes, I see that.
Yeah, and then just click it in to save previous votes or streams,
Okay,
and
it's
then always publish votes.
okay.
Save.
So this one says automatically save broadcast for up to 14 days, 60 for partners, turbo and prime. Okay, so mine will save for 60 days, right?
If you have turbo, yes.
Yeah, I do.
Okay, yeah, so it's gonna say 6 days. So you can have a lot of VODs on Twitch, so you can just skim through it yourself. You don't need to like save recordings and stuff.
Okay, that would be better. I also do. I have been doing some of this to YouTube.
Yeah, that's really powerful. I'm also doing it for the raid now that we're doing streaming to YouTube and stuff.
Okay. Okay, that's easy. Do you know how? Just one last thing on this. Your music. What do you do to not get the copyright drama?
Oh, that's a different story. It's kind of complicated.
Okay.
And also not in one way.
Sure. Okay.
I can give you a link. Are you using like any mixer table for your sound, like soundboard? Are you using anything, or are you just plugging in your headset and microphone in your PC straight away?
I'm not mixing it.
Okay, okay. Well, I'll give you a link on YouTube, and you just follow that guide and do the settings in OBS, and
Okay.
you'll be fine. Then the music won't save on the box itself.
Okay. Great. That would be very helpful. I was thinking about, do I have like, just like white noise also playing in the background so it like mixes up frequencies, like so it doesn't try to capture.
Yeah, that sounds really nice. Like previously, I also got a lot of like, oh, oops, there's copyright music in the stream. But basically, what you do is you put a filter in OBS, so your music is going through channel 2, and the rest of your voice is going through channel 1, and then the OBS to Twitch doesn't stream. It's something like that. You put them in like different channels, kind of.
Okay, so right now your replays don't have music. Is that correct?
Yeah, they have everything else except music.
Okay, great. I think I know how to do that. Because I think I did set it up. I just haven't tested it up yet. Yeah, I have everything to the channel 6 except for my game.
Yeah.
That's like channel 1 or something.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay, cool. Yeah, but if you wouldn't mind sending that, and great, I'll do that, and then that way we'll make it streamline this.
Yeah, perfect.
Cool. Well, you have a good night, and good luck next week on raid and your vault.
Thank you, and the same to you with your raid and M+.
All right.
Bye.
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 All right. That was LeMike, who is, man, that guy has a resume. $809 Mythic right now for playing with levels. Which I just learned recently was a Swedish guild. That's pretty cool. Like watch. He streamed his raid a few times, and they're all speaking in Swedish, and it's funny because they use like a lot of like English like mixes. Like they all speak English as well, but they do it primarily in raid or in Swedish, and so like they'll be like, I don't want to be like sound disrespectful by like trying to interpret their language, but they're speaking in Swedish. It's like yada yada yada, and then fucking wave, and then yada yada. Yeah, just on his paladin, he was 34, 54, and that was even his main. Like going into it, just doing plus doing 20s just for key, like just for so he could improve some of his gear. Yeah, no, this guy's a legend. I think he was also, let's see. Yeah, like his paladin was almost 3,500 last season, and then warrior was 3,300. His where's the DK? He didn't play much of his DK on this. Like he was just doing yeah, like that's still crazy. He just goes in and does. How many under rods did he do before that? No, he only did one. He's 425 item level. Season 4, rank 2 world. To the Chinese guy, yeah. So for the most of the season, he was rank 1 world. He was like, this is even his favorite. He likes, I think, Guardian Druid. I think season 2 Shadowlands was his rank 4 world. He was just 30 some odd points, 34 points behind the top one in the world at the time. Rank 14, yeah. I'm definitely grateful to have him on my friend roster. He's been super helpful with our charity tournament. Like made that happen for us, honestly. He when we reached out to him for the charity tournament to like let us pick his brain and whatnot, he came in and he didn't want to work on a schedule that was convenient for him. He didn't want us to work around that. He wanted to join our practice at our normal time, which was 2:30 in the morning, and this guy goes to bed at before midnight often. And you know, has a nice home life, and he chose to switch his sleeping schedule around for like a week in advance just so he can make it to our practice times a couple days in a row to like be as helpful as he can. This guy's great. another guy that's been super helpful with tank stuff. Yips. He was for the charity tournament. He was our tank for the first season. Just absolute gamer he's now like, he's been doing MDI, making the globals every time, and then now he got picked up by Liquid, and so he tanked got world first on that. This guy definitely deserves a lot more credit than. I think he needs a lot more exposure too. So like if there's, check out his stream and LeMike's stream too. Nice. They stream opposite times, so you could generally like catch one of them during the weekday. Oh, let's see, XT. Were you able to get any of that?
Some of it, yeah.
Or
It was very hard to hear him.
yeah, I'll have to fix that for later. The recording is great though. It does pick up everything.
I couldn't hear him very well.
No, I meant like the recording, like when I
God.
go back to it.
Gosh, gosh. Oh, I thought I got it.
Um, let's see, tank stuff that could be translated to all tanks is um, if you're gonna do any pull, that's here. I want to share my screen.
Just a minute.
No, I'm gonna do it right now.
No, I didn't want to move there.
Uh-uh.
Oh no.
Is Pixie gonna win?
Huh?
Is Pixie gonna win?
Oh, I'm not playing her. Oh, he just fucked up big time. He didn't capitalize. Yes.
Dude, I love that. I did that this morning actually.
Oh, Andy blundered another piece. Oh, this is so over. Bye-bye, Rook. You little bitch. I almost want to give you my queen just to tease you a little bit. Okay, now I can see. Yeah, that was a random 10-minute.
Yeah.
Pixie does not have those moments. She played pretty good earlier. Like, she wasn't... I could tell who taught her. Like, it looks a lot like my gameplay.
I taught her the.
Stuck in the 750 range right now.
What? She just blasted a bunch of pawns and moved nothing else. Your king's in. I'm just kidding.
Well, no, like I've had a good like little run of that where depending on how I set it up, like all I'm trying to do is like I saw who was now like a month ago he made Grandmaster, but there's a dude that I watch called like Gotham Chess or something like
Yeah,
that.
Gotham. Yep.
That's who I usually watch. So he recently got Grandmaster, and his thing was like, you need to have a strong center of the board. If you don't have two pawns in the king, or what is it, the D and the E file, you are wrong. So I've been basing it around that. So I'll like come with wide blanks on pawns, knowing that they're going to come center, and all I'm really doing is like they can't move forward except through me. And that's been working really well. So I'll move like 4 or 5 pawns and maybe a knight or a bishop in my first 5 or 6 moves. And then it's like just an onslaught of moving forward. And as long as I'm good about moving forward, that works out really well.
Mhm.
I'm not good about moving forward, and they can clip the back end of one of that. It's like it falls apart real fast.
All right, you can see my screen.
Better at it. Yeah, but I'm like stuck at 700, 750.
So, anytime you're gonna do a pull that like requires like movement, like the custodians or like you need to do puddles, he said like you just the way you handle it, and I'm like, oh dude, that makes it so much easier in my brain. Something like this, you literally just take it to a wall or something and then go in a circle around the room. Nothing else. If you gotta drop poop or anything, you know, like just do that and you'll be safe. Maybe there's a more optimal route later on that you'll pick up, but like you'll never be wrong for doing it that way. You know? Like if I just take it.
Oh, my mic was off.
Uh,
That makes sense.
yeah. See how I'm doing it kind of like random. Like I just move over like from the middle now over to this edge, and then through here. You know, it's just like not good. Right, and it's spawning on players, so like. Anyway, if I just move it to the edge and move another way, like with the custodian thing, same thing too.
It's like if you've got like a clock, we'll go back to that sort of reference. If you have a clock and there's multiple frontals or poop, but but especially frontals, that's the one that matters the most to go in that like little circle pattern. It's as long as if you have to range it, you just need to make sure that you're always on the out, like you're at the same position on everyone's clock basically. All the mobs, you're always at the same O clock. It's when that one is on like 2 and one's on 4 that when you dodge one, you can end up in a bad spot trying to dodge the second one. Like you'll only be able to outrange one a lot of times. Um, and honestly, I'm pretty sure, like I said, I died on that floor. Pretty sure.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you died on that. Oh.
Fuck you, dude. I hate you. Where's Bucket?
Dude, Bucket has been. I was just thinking about that earlier. Like, I think he's just in like living his life right now. Like, he met a girl who's like, he was like really,
There it is.
yeah. Oh, like he really liked her and things worked out, right? Like, and so like, anyway, he's also like trying to be more social. Like, I was like, dude, good on him. Like, cause he was like, for that tournament that we did, the 1 day one, right? Like he was so stressed out by this game recently, you know, like just for making it in practice and all that. Like he was trying to like have people doing favors, like just show up in practice, you know, like hey, can you like finish this at work or whatever, you know, and like kind of like what you did with the day of the tournament, but like for him, he was doing it for practice stuff, you know, and then like on this 1 day tournament, he was like asking me if like he needs to cancel his plans that he really wanted to go to, where he was going to Chicago to this convention with the girl he really liked. I'm like, whoa, dude, absolutely leave, you know, go and do that, you know.
Fuck him.
Yeah, right. No,
I'd love to have fun if we aren't having it.
yeah, he needs to be he needs to be in World of Warcraft. That's the.
No, I mean honestly, like that's good for him. Like I hate to see him go, but like here's my deal, right? If the girl leaves and all of a sudden he's back online, then I have a problem with what he did.
Why? Why would that be a problem?
And it wouldn't even be what he did. It would be a problem with anyone and how like the female. You shouldn't have to change your life just because a male or female comes into it. That shouldn't.
Well, it's not usually about.
Time differently, right? Like
Yeah.
you spend more time with that person. But to completely give up something that you like, maybe it was stressing him out. He needed a break, right? Like that's totally a thing. But it would suck if like I don't know. I've just seen that happen so many times where like a dude's like, yeah, well my girl wants me to do this, and it's like, dude, when are you having fun? Are you having fun, or is it just like, oh, I'm gonna play boyfriend right now, and then when that's over, I'll come back to WoW like normal. Like, I don't know. If he's not in that, I don't know him well enough to really.
He's not. He enjoys this game a lot, but he also knows how to have enjoyment in almost anything else, you know? Like, or like he does find enjoyment in a lot of other stuff. This just happened to be one of them, you know? Like,
He's just a happy person.
yeah. Yeah, well, like,
I knew he was gay.
yeah. Well, I have pictures on my phone to prove that he is.
Oh yeah?
Just kidding.
Does it happen to be from January 3rd?
Oh, it's
9:57 p.m. No reason for asking, of course. No one giving a thumbs up with dick in their mouth, is there?
yes. Oh shit. Hold on. I do gotta. Okay.
Good for Bucket.
Yeah.
It's sad to see one of our friends go, but good for Bucket.
I don't know if he's like gone or not. I just know he hasn't been on lately, and I know that was the direction he was heading.
Yeah.
And he also just like re-enlisted to be going from reserves to active reserves.
Okay.
It's probably not, but he doesn't know that yet. Just kidding. Re-enlisting.
Just gonna say, like, once you're out, why would you go back? Like, you're done at that point. Like, you're free. You have to ever say ass there again. When we ever said it, we screamed it.
I would love to fix. I would love to fix this Discord thing in chat, or like on the stream, like to be able to like pick it up.
I love that you asked about the music too. Like, that has been a very real thing. Like, all I want to do is listen to Metallica while I play games, guys. I'm not asking a whole lot from the world. Fucking Lars. I'm gonna beat his ass.
No, I didn't make it.
Beat his ass and eat a bag of cocaine.
Okay, this is why my repair bills get high. Can you see my screen?
Yeah, I'm watching that.
Well, I do this where like I go up and I like try to see if I could like get it. No, no, no. I'm dead. I'm for sure dead here. Now,
Imagine being the person.
man, there was like people up there. They could have reached their hand out. You can imagine that? Like you just see somebody like you're on the edge of a fucking tower, and then somebody's like,
I don't think it works that way. I think the amount of grip you would have would be A, astronomical, and B, if you could grip it, something would have to grip you.
no, if you have enough like pull, you could, yeah, and like you could stay planning on that, like you'll be able to do it. Here, I got this one. Yeah. These guys are like, what the fuck?
Need to figure out what to do with food.
Alright, here we go again.
7 o'clock, I've just been playing chess all day.
Oh my god! Oh, that was close.
You've got spectators.
Yeah. They were there to catch.
Where's the priest?
Marissa? Or Vanda?
Just in general.
Oh. Yeah, there's no priest. This,
I mean, that's the hand you need.
I mean, there's an invoker they could rescue.
Like, you get up to the platform, that's what you should do. You should log on your priest, have them get up to, like, show them, like, hey, look at this thing I'm doing. And then as soon as they do it correctly, you life grip them off the edge.
Oh, that one's not gonna make it. I do have bubble.
So I do have some. What is your advice on? I had a couple of situations where I felt like I had lost control of the group. And I think some of it is that their IOs have eclipsed mine very quickly because I kind of don't care. And they do. And I'm getting some like. Even the healer doesn't want to like top me off before a pull when I ask for it, kind of deal. It's like, dude, just top me off. Like you've been struggling on pull. Like get me full. I'm half full right now. I have no rage. I just died. Like you need to top me off before I go into combat. And like we're arguing over that kind of deal. I didn't know if you had any suggestions on stuff like that.
On that dynamic, yeah. The IO does help. That's why, like, It just helps, right? It's not like the answer.
All it means is that they did more pugs than I did.
That's it. Literally, that's all it is. It's just to like. It's dumb that is a thing where like that has any weight on what you're saying, right? Um, it's and I unplugged it for a second and it died. It's like at that like hovering around the 1% charge kind of thing. I gotta get a new headset. I'm gonna order that now. Okay, yeah.
It definitely feels like passive aggressive on my end. And I don't want to like make a thing out of it. But there's a lot of little jabs like that, like, oh, look at your IO, it's getting up there. You're 1800 now. It's like, bro, what the fuck? What is this? Like, I don't know. Like, if it's a joke and it feels very passive aggressive and like it's one of those deals where like I know I'm not playing perfect. None of us are. It's so early still. And I'm trying to keep that in mind, but um, you know, for like it feels like there's a couple people being that way at this point, and I'm not sure if it's like just a me thing or if this is typical for people to just like kind of have some angst toward the leader or whatever, or even how to go about like why would the healer even put up an argument who's learning his class and isn't sure what to do? Why would he ever put up an argument against topping me off before pull? I don't get it.
Yeah.
Where's the fight there?
Well,
Why would there
what
be a
was he
fight?
saying?
I was like, hey, can you top me off? He's like, no, you're good. You can just go. I was like, I mean, honestly, I'm dry. I need you to top me off. He's like, no, you're good. You can go. And it's like just the back and forth. And finally, I was like, dude, like, is it really that much for you to top me off? Like, seriously, like, I don't have anything. I just died. So if we're having issues, like, you call my name twice off pool on a couple of different trash pools. Like, fucking top me off. I'm not asking a lot.
Here's okay. I think this might help get people to listen. Um, you're like you're like, hey, I know I should. I'm not like. Hold on, let me figure out how to word this. You just say like for my level, like hey, like just for my skill level, you know, like I just need to be topped off for this. Like yeah, probably others don't, but like where I'm at, you know, like and obviously they're gaming with you and they know your history, right? So like they know you're kind of being but it is a way to make a point that like hey, I know you feel like I shouldn't need to um
And I probably don't. But
yeah, like just
it's a
hey
proper way of doing things.
yeah, you could say like, "Hey, I need to get a feel for like how things are getting hit, and how much of my health is doing it for you. Like, can you just do it for me? And once we're super comfortable with that, then just do whatever you feel is best. But like, I don't know. I'd probably word it something like that. Like, you're like, "Hey, I'm struggling to gauge like what these guys are doing to me. Like, if it's just because I'm not topped off, and it's just like it's a me thing. Like, can you do it for me? You know, um, just to gauge that. That's and you can mention that like, hey, I should be allowed to ask or request this. I think we should all be able to be in a space where we could support each other. So, and this is I'm just asking it. I'm the one asking it this time. And I don't know. You could also mention.
It wasn't even like he was starved of mana and needed a drink. It was like he just wasn't healing at that point. And he wanted to wait till combat started, which doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. Um.
Passive aggressive comments from Rook. Um,
What's he?
like just making comments about like what weak auras like every time that I try and get a weak aura in, like there's a complaint, complaints about like if I get clapped by something, complaints about routing, and it's like, dude, if you weren't pulling the skip mobs that we're skipping, none of these skips would have gone bad. We have one other one that would have been bad because of Ching, but except for that one in Brackenhide, the very first time, the rest of them were all him. And I'm not trying to like call him out like that, right? Like I understand that they're like he doesn't know how to do a lot of skip routes, and even then, the skip routes for this season aren't even a thing yet. Like we don't even know the best skips yet, so we're just playing around with it. So I'm not trying to like hold him to that standard, but there's a point at which it's like, bro, why are you loading that gun up and pointing at me? You were the one that's not like executing this, and it's the same. Even if it's a different key, it's always the same thing you don't execute. It's the ass pulls, it's the breaking skips, and standing in bad. And he's really good about his utility and his spec, right? Like he's definitely not a baddie, quote unquote. But like it's still the issue of they don't seem to grasp what life will be like at a 25. And the importance I put in doing things correctly every single pull, every time the same way, they have zero appreciation for. And I say they, there's like probably two or three.
Yep.
There's two or three also that prefer it done that way, and or at least are okay with it being done that way. Like they understand where I'm coming from and are fine with it.
I don't know. Maybe it's. Could there be an element of them not trying not to be under the spotlight? So it's like, people like that tend to highlight when others make mistakes.
I mean, I thought that could be some of it, and you mentioned when I first started getting this together, it was like, hey, some people, you need to be extra on your shit, because if you're not, then people are going to be real quick to point it out. And I don't know that I'm like bottom on that list. I don't know that I'm at the top of it either.
I don't know. Maybe you can mention, maybe like just reestablish, like, hey, we're, we talked about that. We're in this for the long run, right? Like, you mentioned that we're in this for kind of season 3, right? This is we're progging now for season 3 and prepping now for season 3. So, like, hey, my work schedule got caught up. So, and there's a lot. This is week 2 right now, and there's a lot to learn. And so I may be behind on some stuff. But so is like everybody. Everybody's just like learning these, this stuff as they're going. And like today, I showed LeMike a like cheese on that second. Remember I told you about the charge, and he didn't know about it. Like everybody's still learning, and it's like our job to like share this information. But like, you can mention that, like, hey, I'm feeling like I know I'm a little behind in like IO. I haven't been able to do as much keys as you. And like there are some passive aggressive comments. I don't know if it's like 100% joking or if it's me feeling like, cause it is linked to a little bit of truth if I'm feeling it because of that. But you can mention that like that's how you're feeling, and not it's like this isn't to like be a big deal or anything. I don't want this to stem into something that becomes a resentment. I don't know.
And I definitely like I'm the leader of the fuck with each other crew, right? Like, so I don't want to be that guy that's like, I can say anything I want and I expect other people to know I'm joking, but the second they joke back, it's an issue. Like, I actively don't want to be him.
Yeah, no, I understand that.
Yeah. Like, that's the thing is you never really know if you're being him until someone else points it out. And, I'm not trying to build a sensitive fucking channel.
Right.
But do want people to feel comfortable, including myself. And he's allowed to, like, if he feels a certain way, he should be able to express it without fear of, like, recourse or anything. But I think that's, I guess, where I'm at with it, is that it'd be cool. But he just came right at me with it and was like, hey, dude, it really bothers me that, this, and this.
I don't know. Maybe check in like, hey guys, like I'm gonna, let's start. I think we should do this more often. Maybe at the end of our runs or the beginning of them or whatever. But like, check in with the team. How are we feeling about things? What worked this week? What didn't work? Um, like concerns with like you're like, and you could say like, hey, I know I haven't been on that as much as I wanted to, whatever this week. So like, you're like that kind of sucks that I'm a little behind on this, but like, just acknowledge it for them, like if anything that they're thinking. Um, but
Also, the point is like these guys wouldn't know. I don't know about these guys, but there's one of them. Beast would probably be doing his own thing, but I think the rest of them probably wouldn't.
yeah,
The rest of them would just be doing their own random thing, and part of me remembers that feeling when you first get to that point that you originally wanted to get to, and you feel really good on yourself, and it can be easy to forget who you're running with, and sometimes that makes a difference. Not gonna think of anyone in particular, but his name starts with W and ends with Oaken. Like no hate towards him either. Like he's a cool dude. I definitely will bullshit and chat with him all day long.
right.
But and they're not awoken either. Like they're definitely not that. Let me just be very clear.
Yeah, right. That was it. They're exaggerating to make a point. Yeah.
But ultimately, this comes back to myself, and I definitely don't think that people would be feeling passive aggressive toward me because it's multiple people. It's almost like I kind of do. It's hard to not look at myself. I'm the only common denominator. Like there's another dude that runs with us sometimes who has a warrior tank. And that was something else I kind of got a little pissy about was like we were in the middle of a run and it was like twice we started talking about what he did in his runs in mid full and we wiped because I was focusing on the conversation instead of the mechs. And like no, this is why we do it this way and this way, and as I'm explaining why I'm doing it that way, I die to it kind of deal, and it's like okay. So I think that that's another thing is that they see other people around that are not probably a little further along, I would wager.
Yeah.
And even then, like I'm firmly convinced I went out of my way not to go crazy with the key level this patch.
Yeah.
So it's like maybe I shouldn't have done that. Maybe that's the mistake I made, and I need to do just a solid week or two of keys and get back on the same page. And like, okay, look, we're still going. But I don't have any problem staying alive at 17, right? Like that's the highest key I've done so far. I don't have any issues staying alive except for interruptible stuff and a tromp I should have moved out of, right? Like it's just mechanical stuff we're getting better with. And my gear's not really good either. That's another holy shit, I need some gear. I gotta get into raid.
Yeah. The gear is actually, it's if you put some effort into getting it, you'll get it real quick. So in the beginning of the week, I was 224. Or no, excuse me, 424. Right? And I felt like I was doing pretty good. Now I'm 437. Like just
yeah, shoot, I'm like 420, 419.
Yeah. 437 right now. Do you know what your health's at?
No.
Mine's at 7.
Whatever. It's like probably 10K higher than what it was at patch end.
Yeah.
I haven't gotten a whole lot of. I've been able to get tier pieces together, and last fucking okay, so last vault I didn't realize I had a tier piece already. I had a headpiece, so I got a second one in the vault, which was lower item level even. It wasn't even an upgrade.
That's
So
fun.
I got a tier piece in a wasted vault.
That's funny.
On week 1. Like, man.
Well, if it makes you feel better, I've done normal and heroic on my paladin for 2 weeks. Both cleared all the tier bosses, right? And on the first week, and did a full clear on normal and full clear on heroic on the second week, and did a full clear on my monk on normal the first week, and a full clear on normal on my monk the second week. So between those 6 full clears, I haven't got a single piece of tier. But that's kind of on purpose. Like, I really like how the raid is doing it, where like one person is collecting all the loot, and then non like he's collecting, and then like in between bosses, like as we're going, um, we have a list of who's bis, and like who, hey, when this trinket drops, yeah, they're like, hey,
What works best for me right now? Game.
right, that's why I was able to get the trinket, you know. But they're like, hey, this next one, this Neltharian's Call thing, is going to be best for warlocks, and even though others can roll on it, like we're going to give this to the warlock. Um, and then if it's like comes to where like, okay, this is like, you could argue who this is better for either way, like this part, like if it's one of those, then you roll on it. Which, by the way, you can see my screen, right?
No, I stepped outside.
Oh, okay. I was gonna show you.
So it's almost dead, so I'm like trying to.
No, you're good.
Weed the sound.
Yeah. So like, and that they collect all the tier at the end, and 3 pieces drop for us and for the tier bosses. So he collects 3, and then there's like, at the end it has fucking, 15 pieces of gear, of tier, and he's like, okay, I can make a full Druid set, 4-piece. I can make a full and so actually most of the people have their tier. I'm like one of the only ones left now. Which, of course, the last one that fucking dropped, or the last heroic one, not a single piece of paladin tier dropped, and that was awesome. And I was gonna be like next on the list to get them all. But anyway.
I still want to go in the raid and like fucking. If I go into Pug, I have to commit myself to learning the fights a little bit, and I just, man, that is so not worth my time.
The raid, it is kind of fun tanking these ones. Which I don't mind going in. Like, I need raid on other tunes too. Like, I definitely do not mind linking up with you and going over. Like, we could start a group. That would probably be our best bet.
So we can't get kicked for incompetence.
Yeah. Yeah. So. Yeah, so at the end, he's like, okay, I can make a full Druid set, I can make a full, warrior set, whatever, and then like we only give people 3 pieces because everyone gets a Omni token at the end. Like, so everybody got an Omni token for killing the heroic boss, the last boss, getting AO2C, or if you got 2,000 rating, you get an Omni token, which you just turn that into any piece of tier. In it.
Tomorrow too, for what that's worth. I will have that tomorrow. I won't get KSM today.
Yeah.
Because I've got 2 keys missing on the other fix.
Yeah, no, for sure. But save that for your 4th piece. Don't use it to get a 2 set. Yeah, well, like, you don't want to like fill it and get your 2 set, and then like, yeah, like let's say you do it for helm, and then you're in that situation where then your next piece is a helm, you know. So you just want it to where it guarantees you a 4 set. Yeah, like even if it's tempting, you're like, dude, I could have 2 set right now, and I have a fucking season 1 piece on in this tier, like this would be a big upgrade. Don't do it. Definitely save it. Well, yeah, so everybody's getting the 3 set, and then at the end, let me know when you're back at the computer.
I am back at the computer. I just sat down.
Okay, let me know when you can see my screen.
Just made my move.
Oh shit.
A lot of times we just play like mulligan games so I can show her what she's doing wrong and she ends up winning.
Yeah.
But she plays with me, so I kind of am not upset.
Yeah. You're not talking about chess, are you? Alright, you can see my screen? Alright. So I clicked on this WoW audit thing, which is dope because wait, where's my do I have no, those are all those. Okay. So you've done you run a sim where like it will show you like which items are your best upgrades, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you insert your sim. This is all you do. All you do in just the WoW audit like organizes it and all the information correctly, you know? So like you just insert the URL here and then it'll show you, so everybody in the raid does that, and then we go like, so we're going to be doing mythic, going into mythic tonight, so we're looking, okay, so these, the leather skin guard, the people that it's going to be an upgrade, okay, so it's 400 DPS upgrade for him, it's 379, these are probably pretty close, so you guys are going to roll on it, but now you know, like Perfect Dark, this guy, it's definitely is out of the roll, you know?
No, that makes perfect sense.
Yeah, and so like here's a good one. Fucking crit verse. These stomper. Look, it's 1,300 for them. A little less than 500. 292. So he gets it, and it's already set. You know, like we already know who's getting what. This one, it's like okay, downgrade for this person, this, you know. And then there's anybody who like really stands out. Okay, so 851 and 780. So these guys are probably going to be the two to talk about, but it's probably going to go to him, you know?
I love that system, honestly.
Right?
Yeah,
It's just
slick.
yeah, it makes the obvious, yeah, like in this one, okay, a weapon drops, you know? This person, it obviously goes to them, you know? Like, and it's just upgrading. If you take the entire raid and you have what? There's 16 slots of gear, like for your main hand and your offhand, and then yeah, all your pieces plus your trinket. Right? Isn't there 16? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Yep. And then there's 20 people in the raid. You know, that's what 320 slots to fill out. You know, and you look at it like just one character has 320 slots, right? Like, how do we upgrade the lowest one? And this is how you figure that out. Yeah. So like, let's see the trinket. So now I'm off the list for this beacon. This person's not getting it. They put in their sims and they weren't really supposed to. They're a healer. Yeah, but look at this person. It's a 4,000 upgrade for them, you know, versus like, because everybody would normally want to roll on this, you know, because it's
Makes sense too.
yeah, it's the fucking this huge trinket, right? That's everybody's, and people will all they'll look at is like, oh, on my list it says it's BIS, you know. They're like, okay, cool, yeah, it's BIS, but like even for like Peppermint, it's BIS, but he already has a bitchin', so like giving somebody literally they're on a sim for a boss fight, they're gonna be doing 4,000 more versus just 700, you know. It's yeah, it's pretty dope. And then you have like it since it and it automatically it puts in the roster, I think it connects to your Raider IO too. This whole WoW audit thing is great. So you get the Droptimizer from RaidBots, and then yeah, its status is tracking everybody, so it updates. And then let's see, we have like
What realm are we on? Deathwing.
yeah. So then they have a spreadsheet that this whole thing filled it out with like literally by you linking that once, it puts it in all of this, and it updates all the information for you. So average item level, which is funny because I was like way down on the list before. But in our raid, it shows the average item level, tier pieces obtained, normal, heroic, you know, like, yeah, dude, I'm down here with 0. But like, you know who has their tier, and like, okay, so anybody with 3-piece, like, these are the people who need to get tier, right? And so, because generally everybody's holding on to their Omni token until they get, well, actually, yeah, everybody's holding on to their Omni token. Like, so they should be using their Omni token. I don't know why maybe they just, I don't know, maybe they're also not, these two are kind of, well, this person is at least kind of mechanically a little behind. That's okay. So this person's definitely holding on to an Omni token, like, and yeah, all of these are. So they just need one more piece, and then they'll say like, okay, hey, and then like the Rayleigh will decide that, hey, I want to give Asus this one piece so that way he can get his 4 set, you know, versus like giving me like the piece, right, and that gives me one piece, right? But if we give it to him, now he has a 4 set.
Yeah, that 100% makes sense.
Yeah. Mythic Plus Dungeons this week, I've nearly doubled the second highest. And it shows who's active. Like, you're like, okay, like, you haven't run anything, you know. That's also takes a play when we have a 26-person roster, you know, like who's active and who's not. That's a real thing. Or, we'll know like, okay, this person, oh, they swap tunes, that's why. But we're like, okay, between, I don't know, I'm just gonna say this person, like, they weren't able to for their work, but they're like a super fucking solid player, cutting edge player, right? But let's say it drops to them or me, they would ask like, hey, can you get this piece in the M plus, or like something very similar, and I'll be like, yeah, and then so like, all right, let's give it to him because his schedule is, he can't make it. They won't do it if you're like able to make to do keys, you just choose not to, like they actually like do recognize that. Yeah. Anyway, I think it's
like if you like say fuck it to raid.
Yeah.
Get this raid drop, I don't want.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I think I entered mine in after. Oh, no, this is current. That's kind of cool. Isn't this one of your friends? Pool? Oh, yeah, that's fucking.
Oh, yeah, that's Rook.
Yeah, that's Rook.
Captain Neckbeard.
say, no, I'm a smarty.
No, I'm a dummy.
No.
No, I'm the dummy.
No, you're the dummy.
Oh, no. Oh, I'm such a big dummy.
Yo, and like the fact that this like it organized it also too, like who's the roster, like okay, you know, we only have one warrior and that's the tank. So he actually wants to play brew, but we don't have another warrior in this, so he has to play warrior for tank. That was Gremlin's situation too. He had to play warrior for the battle shout.
I was just happy to see it was a viable option.
Uh,
Go here.
I'm gonna invite Rook to the Discord. Are you cool with that, or are you just
Yeah.
okay?
I have no issues with rookies. Yeah, you're good.
You go.
Peace, peeps. Yeah, go for it. Yeah. Let's sling that nuts. Let's go. Yes. I will take that trade. Okay, where'd you from here? Hello.
Yo.
What up, mother?
Anyone know a good tank and a good healer?
Well, I don't know any good tanks. I know 2 tanks and comms, neither of which is decent.
Uh,
I have a 2400 warrior and a 2200 DK in my group. I need a tank.
dude, I just gotta acknowledge that was funny the other day when you're like, dude, I'm like, fucking, I don't know why I'm getting declined from groups. Like I'm at 2100 already. Like, dude, what the like, what is the issue? I'm like, well, I'm getting declined and I'm nearly 2600 right now. And you're like, oh.
No, it's like pugging. I can't get into groups pugging. It just isn't happening.
Yeah.
But I would like to run my
You're what?
18 Olives of Infusion.
Dude, how come everybody and their mother gets that key?
Fuck!
Is that what you guys have too?
Oh no, I had that for the most part. Like, and we all like, yeah, I had that like all week with Salt Infusion.
Dude, my buddy
Now I got a
timed
Vortex.
to 20 under
Yeah, Underrod's pretty free.
Yep, for sure.
We were doing.
Oh, I did it again! I'm so dumb!
You
We're-
losing at chess again?
I just threw the game and I didn't mean to move my piece there.
My headset may die, but if it dies, I'll be right back. I am.
Yay.
That induces homosexuality.
Fair.
Oh man, I just lost over that.
You're mad. You should have used the health potion.
You should have used my dad.
Man, dude, I'm gonna feel guilty every time that weak aura pops up.
It's worse than when they invited me into that party. Like, hey, I know that Pally, he's good or whatever, and then like.
Oh, I didn't say that. I just said I knew you. I just said I knew you.
And then there was no healer. Like, all right, well, this is awkward. See you later.
Yeah, did you leave or did he remove you?
Oh, he booted me.
Yeah, so I thought, and so I guess after you left, So we were looking for somebody, right? And then Bunny and I I looked in queue and I saw Rook was in queue and I was like, hey, I know that paladin. And then so he invited him, right? And then he was like, and then you saw he got removed right away. And then he was like, we still need a healer. I was like, oh, he only plays holy. He was just questing right now. And he was like, what? Oh man. I was like, I'm just kidding.
I've never played Holy on my path.
You know what would be, I think, a good spec for you to learn, like how to play well?
Red Pally?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, imagine fucking how far you would be if you learned how to do good, if you learned how to play rep paladin well. Like, dude, you would do way better than.
Change it for sure.
Yeah, what class are you playing right now?
Shadow Pally.
Oh, bro, you're a Shadow Pally? Duck is a fucking nature priest. What a gay boy. What a fucking gay boy.
Meow.
Who is Phil? Speaking of that sweet ass.
Satisfying. I don't know. I don't.
I heard that. Haven't talked to her.
I think she plays still.
A little bit.
Yeah.
She messages me every once in a while, but I'm usually like in the middle of stuff. And she was like, "Hi, I can't talk right now."
More like, shut up, bitch.
I thought I told you to shut up, bitch. You can drink some more Alabama Mile. I want to be just like Alabama man. No, people in Alabama are white Peterson.